Hi, and welcome to the Let's K12 Better podcast. This podcast is a project between Mama Capes and their kids.
Hi!
In our podcast, we will cover a variety of subjects involving K12 education and family life.
We will talk about the ways that parents, kids, and educators can improve K12 education and family life. We encourage you to join our conversation on social media using the hashtag Let's K12 Better.
Let's jump into episode 26 of the Let's K12 Better podcast.
Recently, we read a New York Times article, The Social Life of Trees. This really struck us because it dove into Dr. Suzanne Simard's research on forest trees and the way that they communicate and cooperate through subterranean networks of fungi. And because we are super nerds, we watched her 2016 TED Talk, How Trees Talk to Each Other. And then we obviously thought about how this connects with the ways that people use smartphones, tablets, and other devices like fungi, to communicate and share information with each other across our own mycorrhizal network, or the World Wide Web. Forests hold an immense amount of biodiversity. It was once believed that trees of different species competed with each other for resources. In fact, it's a popular thought to believe that when we compete, we gain the best possible outcome or produce the best and strongest version of product, person, and even tree. But when we think about competition, especially competition amongst people, our minds automatically shift to this idea that everyone is competing on the same terms and that the rules are equitable or fair. We're beginning to learn that this is not always necessarily true. So if we are turning this idea of competing on its head and we're challenging this notion, then how are we going to get the best results, the best product, the best person, and the best tree? Maybe it's more than just finding the one best. What can we learn from the trees? Dr. Simard discovered that some trees live collaboratively and cooperatively. Paper birch and Douglas fir, for instance, share resources with each other depending on the time of year. And it's not to say that they share resources equally amongst everyone and themselves and across species every single time. In fact, her research also discovered that mother trees, the biggest, oldest, most connected trees in the forest, actually recognize their kin, their children, and they share resources and made extra room and space for their kids to grow, but not at the expense of destroying the entire forest. Life, it seems, is a delicate balance, a series of choices that challenges individuals to balance individual needs and the needs of those most like them with the needs of others. The more that my kids and I read, the more we realized how collaborative the forest is and, well, really, how collaborative life is. Families, communities, cities, and towns are like forests with their own rules, their own norms of communicating danger and how to gather information and resources. But humanity has yet to evolve to a place where we truly leverage the benefits of a collaborative approach to living on this planet with each other. When we think about resource distribution, knowledge sharing, and even the spaces we inhabit, what lessons can we take from Dr. Simard's research that might inspire us to see others around us as potential super cooperators? Maybe the trees tell us that the secrets to our survival are found below the surface in our need to connect with each other. All right, so we're back at it again. We are going to have a discussion based on Dr. Suzanne Simard's work that was featured in the New York Times But we're not going to talk about trees. We're going to talk about what we learned from this work. All right, everybody ready?
I'm ready, but I was here for the trees.
Okay, I know you were here for the trees. All right, here we go. Remember when Dr. Simard discussed cedar, paper birch, and Douglas fir? What were your thoughts about this experiment?
I thought it was like a really interesting experiment because not many people actually study forestry, so you don't really hear about it. And also, it's kind of cool how she discovered this new way of thinking about forests and how we just think about them as it's a tree and another tree. There's a variety of different species and trees in the forest.
What do you think about the research that we read? And then we watched the TED Talk. So what are your initial reactions? What'd you learn?
I think it's kind of cool that she not only created a hypothesis, but she also did it, and it proved a lot of theorists and scientists wrong when they thought, I mean, not every scientist thought this, but they thought each tree was competing against each other, or not just scientists, but a lot of people thought different species birch trees and fir trees were competing for resources, but actually they're helping each other.
That's pretty awesome. Thank you. What about you? What are your initial reactions to the research?
When they were talking about when she was talking about the mushrooms connecting to the trees and how the internet system works like that. I think that was really cool because it shows that there are actually some similarities from trees to humans, not just from trees to other trees.
That's cool. We'll get more into that idea of similarities between trees and humans, but thank you for opening us up to that. Thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah. Okay, you said you wanted to add one more thing.
Yeah, I thought it was also really cool that she was one of the first women in the forestry study, and that even though she was doubted by lots of people, she still continued to do her work and persevere.
That's how it's got to be. If you're going to do something great, generally people are going to doubt you, so you got to keep pressing on. That's pretty amazing. Okay, so I got another question. I'm going to have you answer this. So we talked about, and I think your sister said this, right, that the trees were originally perceived to be competitive, right? And then she opened up this world to a collaborative, communicative experience between trees. So how do you find what I would say the Douglas fir to your paper birch, or vice versa, right? Meaning, how do you find that person who can be in a mutually helpful relationship with you? What are some things that can help you find that kind of person?
You can meet new people, even though it's virtual. You can maybe meet new people, Zoom with them, hang out. And if it's if you feel a mutual respect of between amongst each other, then you kind of found your paper verse to your Douglas fir. But if it's not a very good relationship or a toxic relationship, you should probably try to find someone who is not as toxic, and find someone who's right for you, or your paper birch to your Douglas fir, vice versa.
I love that. All great points there. And I like how you brought up if a person is toxic, what you can do. So thank you so much for that. Your sister let us know about a few strategies for finding the Douglas fir to your paper birch, or vice versa. I know you're looking at me oh my God, Mom, this is so ridiculous. But I want to know, what are some characteristics that you think will help you find the Douglas fir to your paper birch?
Someone that will respect you, and when you need help, they'll help you, and when they need help, you have to help them, because otherwise, like Naima said, it would be a toxic relationship or a one-sided relationship where you're only helping them or they're only helping you, which is not healthy, and that's not what it is. So yeah, someone who respects you and likes you for who you are.
I like that. Thank you. All right, so how do you find the person that what are you doing with your eyeballs? That is so gross. All right, I'm going to try.
Click.
Stop. Okay.
Click.
Stop. That's so disgusting. All right,
not.
stop. Everyone, on. Chill.
That's why.
Hey, hi. Okay, so how do you find the person that you can be in a mutually helpful relationship with?
Some things that you get.
What is wrong with you? Okay, let's try this again.
Oh God! Wait.
All right, so how do you find the person that, you can be in a mutually helpful relationship with? How do you find this person?
Some things that you can do is like if it's just family member, maybe try to spend more time with them. Like find things that both of you enjoy, like a TV show, a game, and maybe another thing you can do is like if you're meeting someone, spend a lot of time with them. Like even if it's friends, family, or you're marrying someone, you should still have a healthy relationship.
So you're saying that the more time that you spend with someone, the stronger your relationship goes?
Yes.
Okay. Or gets, not goes, but the stronger your relationship becomes.
Yes.
Okay. I love that. Thank you. Okay. So Dr. Simard talked about all of the languages that trees communicate with. And some of those languages are like carbon and nitrogen and hormones and defense systems, even water, right? She also talked about the mycorrhizal or that fungus root system and how that it gets into the trees and it connects with them and it helps them to connect with each other. And that these links are kind of like what? What are these links like?
Internet.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So it's like a network, or it is a network, and it's like the internet, right? So if we want to think of it that way. And if we're going to think of it like the internet, then if we're trees and we have an internet, then our phones are kind of like our mushrooms.
Yeah. That's an adorable analogy. Because I came here for the trees.
I try. Anyway,
No.
So let's get to the root, pun intended, root of my question. So what are some of the ways that human interactions, right, the ways that people engage with each other, how do they copy or emulate the ways that trees communicate with each other?
Something that might be similar is like how people provide for their kids, and also trees provide to their saplings.
How do what kind of trees, provide for their saplings? What does she call? Mother trees. Oh, that's cool. All right. Awesome. And what do they do? How do the mother trees provide for their saplings? What do they do?
Some ways that they provide for their saplings is like they alert them when like there's danger.
Okay.
They also give them food.
They give them food
And water and carbon, because like we breathe oxygen, they kind of breathe carbon and filter out oxygen.
So, and she also said something about how the trees pass on their knowledge
When they die,
And
so
wisdom.
that they live on.
so that knowledge passes on to the next generation. That's pretty cool. So what are other ways that tree communications emulate people?
I can go. So
wanna-
trees also communicate with each other, like the thing you said about like mushrooms being like phones. It's kind of like the internet, so like they can talk to each other and like stuff like that.
That's cool. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
They can communicate when there's like danger heading their way, or like when
How do people communicate? What are some things how do we communicate danger to each other?
we call each other, text each other, and we get those like really loud Amber Alerts. They're like,
Yeah, and those definitely help people to find missing people, which is really, really important. So we definitely have a system of communicating with each other when there's danger, right? Anything else?
Also kind of like mushrooms are kind of like also are like news. Like mother trees like go to their fungus and then they spread it. And that's kind of like how news works. Or like,
So like something going viral?
Yeah, like you turn on the TV. Oh wow, it's the news on. And you might spread that information through text, or like call somebody. Oh, did you see the news? No, I'm gonna check it out. Like something like that. That's kind of like how it works.
I see. I appreciate that. Well, thank you. These are really great answers, you guys. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Mom.
Thank you. Dr. Simard talks about mother trees. And so you kind of just brought this up. Let's talk about the role of mother trees in the forest and what they do for their seedlings. And then let's also talk about, like, what can human parents, learn from trees? So I'll let you go first.
A mother tree's role in the forest is to kind of nurture and protect not just their own children, like child trees, you could say, but every tree. They're kind of like the protectors of the forest. They're like, hence the name hub or mother tree. They're kind of like giving that motherly love to the tree so that they can become the next generation of mother trees for some other young seedlings.
Future saplings. That's awesome. I appreciate that. Yeah, future. What about you?
So like a way that mother trees like wait.
You don't know the question. Say it loud. Be proud that you don't know the question.
I don't know the question.
All right. So let's try this again. What do mother trees do for their seedlings?
Stuff that mother trees do for the seedlings is like they nurture They nurture their children and like other saplings. Like and like also they send communication like we discussed in like the last question.
That's awesome. What else did you learn about mother trees?
They provide food and water.
So, okay, cool. But how about like genetic information? How about being like the keepers of all of the secrets for that generation of trees, right? Mother trees are really, really important. What happened when people cut mother trees down? What happened to the forest?
There was actually a lot of other trees died just because of one tree, because they were counting on the mother trees to survive, and they were like, okay, so this mother tree is going to give me food, so I just have to keep waiting for the food. But they would keep waiting, and they got no food.
Right.
I remember we were watching the TED Talk, and it had images of like the deforestation, and when the mother trees were cut down, there was a specific image where there was just a patch of trees that were just all
gone,
dead.
Yeah. So mother trees are pretty important to the survival of the species, right? What do they do? Do they, when their baby is growing, what do they do? What do their roots do so that they're not competing?
They
move over.
They push over like some of the trees and make room for their children.
They move their roots so that they're not competing with their own kids.
And
which that's
also,
pretty cool.
Apparently, they a mother tree and its seedlings are the most interconnected through fungi and through the trees itself. They're the most interconnected throughout the forest.
So the mycorrhizal system is super strong between the mother tree and her seedlings.
Yeah, because the mycelium helps to travel more carbon, more water, more food through, because she's trying to grow up her children even more than she's trying to
help the others.
Which makes sense because it's her children.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay, cool. So then I have a question. What can human parents learn from trees? You're going to go first. She's first.
I'm going.
And then she's second.
No.
That's all right, but that's how it is.
So basically, human
Let's try again.
So human parents can learn to not only care for their own kids, but for other people's kids too. Because like this is not a really example that's related, but like say like some kid like is lost and you don't know them, like it's not your child, but you could still like ask them if they want to call their parents on your phone or something like that. Don't ask them to take them in your car, because then
that's weird. But yeah,
exactly. But like ask if they want to call their parents, like ask them if they need help or anything. You know what I'm saying? Like try to help them.
So it takes a community.
Yeah.
Looking out for each other.
Yes.
Okay, cool. What about you? What can human parents learn from trees?
They can learn that like they can like still help their kids and their family without like just having to help them. They can help everyone, and they can find ways to do that.
So it's not just about my kid, making sure that my kid gets resources.
It's making sure every kid.
It's making sure we have enough so that everyone can get some resources.
Yeah, to like the mother tree nurtures everyone instead of just
not just her saplings. I mean, she does, she looks out for hers.
She just shoves them to the side specifically for them.
But then also make sure that the ecosystem of the entire forest remains intact. So you're not destroying someone else to make sure that your family and your kids are okay. Is that what you're saying? Yeah. I want to make sure that I got that right. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. You didn't get to give us your answer, so what can human parents learn from other trees?
Human parents can learn like how to communicate respectfully and effectively so that their kids or other people can actually understand what they're saying.
So like mother trees, they connect with other mother trees to talk about what's going on. So like parents connecting with other parents to talk about what's going on and to share information with each other.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that a lot of parents try to do that, by like getting on Facebook groups, especially during this pandemic, right?
Yeah.
People were like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. Getting on Facebook and sharing. It's been really cool watching parents share information with each other in these Facebook groups and like online. So, you're right. Parents can connect with each other about ideas.
They can also like, even though this is not specifically for like what mother trees do, but you can like, get a group of close like friends and family to like share, what they've been doing, like maybe some troubles they've been having to kind of like maybe get that off of your chest or find some help with it if you're stressed out.
So leaning into the wisdom of other parents around you to see what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because none of us are alone. That's the one thing I really appreciate about this whole forest lesson that we've journey we've gone on. Like
we're experiencing it all together.
We are experiencing this all together. It's not one tree in the forest by themselves. Unless it's a victim of deforestation.
All trees for themselves.
Yeah, all trees for themselves. We wouldn't have a forest if it was
then
every tree for himself.
Who nurtures the mother tree?
Right, exactly. Like
no, I'm saying who nurtures the mother tree. She's nurturing everyone.
The mother tree has gotten to a point where she has figured out a system of taking care of herself, like a mom, while also taking care of others. And so by the time, like a human adult mom has gotten to the point where I can keep a small, medium, or large-sized human alive while also making sure that I take care of myself. And it's a process, right? We're all learning and growing, right?
Yeah.
That's a great question. I like that. Who's taking care of the mother trees? For all the parents out there, well, it's a saying, but for all the parents out there, making sure that you're not only just taking care of your seedlings, making sure that you're also doing something to take care of yourself.
I also have a question. Is there a grandma tree?
There's got to be a grandma tree if there's a mother tree.
Also, you're not the...
Wow.
Oh my God.
Okay, we're moving on to the last question.
Can we keep that in though?
We can keep that in here. All right, so we've come to our final question. Let's talk about super cooperators. So this idea that even though trees like a Douglas fir and a paper birch are two different kinds of tree, right? They're not competing with each other. They're actually collaborating. They're communicating. They're helping each other so that everyone can survive. So my question for you guys with this final question is, how can parents raise super cooperators or people who, can cooperate even amongst differences so that everyone can live a fruitful life?
Some things that a parent can do to raise super cooperators is like they can like not talk down to them, like not say, "Oh, what a little baby," like actually talk to them, like, but and like respectfully, where like they can actually like listen and not like zone out.
So teaching or modeling proper communication with your own child.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Cool. How about you? What are some things parents can do to raise super cooperators?
Making sure your child isn't selfish. Making sure your child isn't selfish and thinks about other people.
What are ways that you can teach your child to not be selfish?
I don't know. That's something for you to think about.
Technically, yes, you are the parent, so
I'm asking
she's got
you
a point
for
there.
ideas, though. I mean, I already know. I feel like you guys have got a
I
pretty
feel
decent
like
grip
though
on
we
that.
should
Answer that
just
question?
leave this
No,
a
wait,
blank slate
actually,
and let the parents
If you
answer
have more
this.
than one child, teaching them how to take turns and stuff, I guess, will help, like, to make make your kids not selfish, because they'd be like, everyone has to have a turn. So yeah.
Okay, so teaching kids how to take a turn and step back and allow someone else to step forward.
Exactly. And if you have an only child, I don't know how you're going to do that. So good luck.
Okay, all
Have
right,
them
that's
hang
true.
out with their cousins.
Okay, yeah, hanging
Take
out with
turns
cousins.
with them.
Yeah, taking turns with your own child if you have an only child.
Or if you have like two children who don't want to engage with one of them.
Wow, yes. Okay, so how do you think parents can raise super cooperators?
First of all, don't assume. Second of all, they probably might not already have the communication and cooperative skills. So you just have to start at the beginning and give them communicative and cooperative skills.
What are those? What are communicative skills?
Like
Respectfulness?
making sure that when they when they're listening to someone, they're listening, and when they're talking to someone, making sure that like everyone is engaged and making sure that everyone has an equal say, and some cooperative. I already meant cooperative. Wait, no, I said communicative. Cooperative skills are like, Garvey said, taking turns. Maybe with your only child. Maybe with like if you have an only child, maybe you could have them like not be on technology all the time, to have them learn like you can't be just doing one thing, and like you have to like try multiple things and like learn multiple skills that might be have them like maybe take a course or something or work with their friends.
Okay, so you named a lot of different things. Some of those things were not being in isolation on technology by yourself. Also, other skills would be taking a class on how to communicate with other people, engaging with the people in your family. I like that one a lot. I love that one. And then also figuring out how to not be selfish, which is a process that many people have to take. I mean, I think it's a process that even adults have to learn how to experience, right? How do I not think of just myself all the time? Okay. I'm going to ask you, what are some cooperative skills? You know, you said not being selfish, but what are some other ways to teach cooperation?
Teach them to be selfless.
Honey, she asked me. Learning ways to speak to people respectfully.
Did you just do that though?
Yes, I said honey.
Okay. What else?
Also,
what experiences? I mean, because what do y'all play?
I play lots of
Roblox.
Minecraft. And
What did we do before the pandemic?
We played
sports.
lacrosse.
Right, lacrosse. Y'all played lacrosse, but we
and
played
we played
sports.
soccer sometimes.
So what are those experiences? What do they provide you with?
Teamwork and like working with.
All right. So what do team experiences provide you?
Teamwork, working with other people for a goal. Other stuff like, like athleticism and like speed and whatever, but also like you can also build relationships and stuff like that.
When you're a super cooperator, right? What do you see another person as?
An ally.
An ally, right? What else do you see them as?
Like
team
a
member.
friend or like
A team member, a
as
friend,
someone you can trust.
Can I
someone you can trust.
add on to Garvey's previous point?
Wait. We're talking about when you're a super cooperator, you're looking at other people as an ally, a team member, a
Equal.
friend, an equal person, right? What are you not seeing someone as when you're a super cooperator? What an enemy, right?
A
A
lower,
lower life
someone
form.
of a lower like class or has lower standard.
Right. So someone is lower standard or a lower class, so you're
Because
not looking at them
everyone
that way.
deserves the same level of respect.
So when you are a super cooperator and you're raising kids to be super cooperators, you're raising kids to see other people as, what are those words that you guys said?
Equals.
Equals, allies, friends, team members, all great words. Thank you guys so much for that. I appreciate
Thank
that.
you, Mom.
Thank you.
Can
You're
I,
awesome.
welcome,
I feel
honey
like we
baby.
should all be more like trees, huh?
No.
I need to add on to.
Trees
I
can't eat
came
ice
here
cream.
for the trees.
You came here for the trees.
Trees.
Okay. We had a really great discussion. Hopefully people can be a little bit more like trees, or at least begin to think about, how can I be a super cooperator? How can I be more respectful? How can I communicate better with other people? Yep. How can I share resources and information with other people?
How can I learn more about trees?
How can I learn more about trees?
Because trees are pretty awesome,
On
guys.
the internet.
Hey, and the internet is like our what?
Mushroom,
It's like our mycorrhizal system.
or as we say in Minecraft, mycelium.
Mycelium. Can we leave now? Okay, well,
Probably in the car, like, hurry up and finish.
okay, well. Anyway, thank you so very much for speaking
Thank
with me today
you.
about the ways that trees communicate and what we can learn from them. Thank you for helping me connect the dots, you guys. I really appreciate this conversation.
Yes, I enjoy talking about trees with you.
Hey.
You're welcome. Trees are so beautiful.
We challenge families to hold a discussion about super cooperators. How can we take lessons about connectivity from the trees in Dr. Simard's research? Do you see your family in competition with other families in your neighborhood, your city, your county, or state, this country? Across races, classes, and other diverse demographics, are you competing with other individuals and groups? How do you talk to your children about their role in sharing resources and information across similarities and differences? If you have any cool epiphanies that you'd like to share, please leave them in the comments or share with us on social media using the hashtag #Let'sK12Better.
Each episode, we will share quotes that we find inspirational.
Maya Angelou was an American poet, writer, and civil rights activist. Her quote, "When you learn, teach. When you get, give."
Rachel Carson was an American marine biologist, author, and conservationist. Her quote, "In nature, nothing exists alone."
My quote is by George Washington Carver, who was an American agricultural scientist and inventor. My quote is, "Fear of something is at the root of hate for others, and hate within eventually destroys the hater."
Miriam Miranda is a Honduran activist and leader of the Black Fraternal Organization of Honduras, advocating for human rights, environmental rights, and natural resources for indigenous people. Her quote, "I fight so that future generations will have the resources and assets they need to survive on a planet that's being destroyed every day."
Thank you for listening to the Let's K12 Better podcast.
If you enjoyed this episode, please rate, review, and subscribe.
We want to hear from you. Connect with us on social media at Let's K12 Better on all social media platforms, or connect with me on Twitter and Instagram at Mom of All Capes. We're on every podcasting platform, so if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to rate and review our podcast.
See you next time.